we're live. I think we're live everywhere. Okay, we're not live there. But we're live everywhere that counts. Okay. Awesome. I moved some lighting around. It's all weird behind me. My name is Sean Shapiro. This is this completely not our regular time where we broadcast in the mornings, but this is when we join the Kelly Cutrara show on AM 640. And that's what's going to happen in just a few moments when we are joined on air, or we're brought into air. We'll ask, we'll answer traffic questions about stuff and things. Looking forward to it. If you want to call in, I probably should tell you the telephone numbers, but when the host arrives, they'll tell you the numbers. In any case, it's good to be back this afternoon. It's been a long day. We've been doing some filming, and it's good stuff. Got some great content coming your way. Getting my notepad ready for questions. I can sketch what we're talking about so I don't,
Coming up here, Sean.
track. Ready, go. Here we are. It's the countdown.
You're listening to the Kelly Cutrara Show, and that music means it's time to chat with Sean Shapiro, the TikTok traffic cop. Welcome to the show. Good to have you on. This is unusual because usually every second Thursday we have a standing date at 12:30. Unfortunately, something else came up on your calendar, and luckily we could slot you in here, and you're with us today. And I think this is good, Sean, because I think people will get a taste of what you do, and then they'll come back 2 Thursdays from now, hopefully in the 12 o'clock hour, and be ready with some questions.
That's a perfect plan.
All right. So earlier on in the week, I was talking about the fact that people keep driving into buildings, literally driving into buildings. There have been several news stories in the past month where people have, I don't know if they're getting confused and hitting the accelerator instead of the gas, or the gas, sorry, instead of the brake. But they're driving into buildings. And I thought maybe it had to do with age. Somebody else wrote in and said, maybe they're driving with bare feet. And I said, I think it's illegal to drive with bare feet. That's a question for you, not just from me, but a few people have texted in. The response was overwhelming on people that actually thought you could. I mean, obviously you can drive with bare feet. It's not impossible, but is it illegal?
So it's so funny. I grew up thinking that it was illegal, and I learned later in life that it's not illegal. It's obviously not suggested because we want to make sure that when you hit that pedal, that you don't hurt your toesies. But at the end of the day, it's not illegal, and we just don't suggest it. Nor do we suggest flip flops or any kind of footwear that could come off your foot and become lodged in either under a pedal, preventing you from being able to press the pedal. Definitely have issues with that. And pedal confusion is a real deal too, where people press the gas versus the brake, or vice versa in a stressful situation.
Another thing that my producer Chris is saying that he heard when he was little was that driving with the interior light on is illegal. Is it illegal?
It's so funny. These are the 2-1-2 combination questions. And I think we broke the internet a couple of years ago when we published a video saying that it was legal because everybody's parent told them that it was illegal. You turn that off or the cops will pull us over. And in some states, in the United States of America, it might be illegal, and every province has their own rules. But in Ontario, it is absolutely legal, although it does negatively impact your night vision because it'll cause your pupils to what is the opposite? Dilate? No, opposite of dilate. What is that? Constrict, and then you lose your night vision. So it's not a good idea.
Okay, good to know. Somebody 416-870-6400 if you want to text in, if you want to call in, 1-888-225-TALK. We've got Sean till about almost 2:30, so we've got some time to get your calls in if you have any. Someone asked, why have police stopped enforcing front license plates? We get this almost every week. They say so many cars have now deliberately removed their front plates to be cool, I guess. And I can easily see a dozen in an hour, this person says. This has never been the case before. Even my neighbors have done it. Are police ignoring this?
It's pathetic that people do this just so they can look cool. And I agree. That's what it's got to be.
Mhm.
Some people claim that they buy cars from out of province and they didn't come with the mounts, but there's a ton of different ways to do it. It's absolutely illegal. To not have one is failing to display both plates, $110 fine. And we do enforce it. We enforce it all the time, but our focus always is going to remain the speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. Those are the things that lead to serious injury and death. And while it's important to have two plates, it's not the highest priority. You will see an increase in charges in this area, though. With automatic license plate readers and enforcement cameras up, we're going to want to make sure that those are functioning and that your plates are clearly visible.
Yeah, I still can't believe how many people don't understand that your plates have to be clearly visible. I was off for a week last week and I had a friend come up to the cottage and I looked at the back as we were loading her stuff to go home. I looked at the back of her car and I said, You can be ticketed. You can't even read your license plate anymore. She's got one of those bubbling up ones. And she's well informed, this person. She said, Really? I thought because, it was the province's mistake, I didn't have to switch it right away. And her major complaint with having to do that, because I said, you can get fined for that, is, well, now I have to change all of my ID. Should the province not somehow make it easier for us?
You don't have to change your ID when you change your license plate. They give you new plates, and then all they do is give you a new a new registration certificate. That's it. There's no identification to change. It is normally, if it happens within 5 years, it's going to be covered under warranty. So it's just the inconvenience of remembering a different plate. Half the time I can't remember my own, so it doesn't matter if they give me a new one. But there's no cost. If it is outside of the warranty, it's $52, which is far less than the $110 ticket you're going to get if you can't read your plate. But that includes covers, whether it be clear or tinted, frames, anything that obstructs it. That's $110. So this is an easy win. Just get it replaced.
Okay. Someone said my son has a G2 and drives occasionally once or twice a week down the street. Does he need to be individually insured on my car that is already insured under mine and my husband's name?
So according to law, they're a G2 driver. They're licensed to and legally permitted to drive any car that has insurance on it and that they have permission to drive. So from a police perspective, we're not going to give them a ticket. If they get into a collision, though, your insurance company is going to say, hey, they live with you, and our policy says that if you have someone residing in the house, they have to be insured as a secondary or occasional driver. And then they could be in a situation where they won't cover you in a collision, and at least not for the replacement of the vehicle. And you don't want to get in that situation. So for the nominal amount of money that it is to increase and put them on, they build a history and a relationship with an insurance company, as well as ensuring they're covered.
All right. Good to know. Brian in Grimsby, welcome to the Kelly Cutrara Show. You're on with Sean Shapiro.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Officer Shapiro. Can I give you my wife's personal phone number? After 37 years of arguing that I have to stop in an uninhabited mall at a stop sign on private property, that it's not illegal. Am I correct?
It's not enforceable. Is it something you should do because stop signs are stop signs and you should always obey them? Absolutely, you should. The deal is that if your driving was such that it was considered dangerous, you could still be charged with stunt or dangerous driving. I don't think that's what you're dealing with, though. Private property, not all of the highway traffic laws apply there.
I think that was a very structured police officer answer to the question of Brian. You can not stop at a stop sign in a parking lot.
No.
However, I wouldn't advise it because have you seen the way people drive in parking lots? It's like, you can't ding up your car. It costs so much to fix these days if you're going to get the part. Appreciate that call. Hey, Brian in Mississauga, or Richard in Mississauga.
Hey, Sean, I have a question that's related to 78.1. I have to act with handheld cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my phone with a magnet on it, and I have a magnet on my inside of my steering wheel. I will tap the on button. I don't text with that at all ever, but I use it to enter. And I've had conflicting interpretations as to whether that's legal or not. I do not put it where in the center where the I would note. It's way off to the side.
Sorry,
But I'd like to
did I hear you when you said it was in the center of your steering wheel?
No, I said I do not put
Okay.
it there because I know
Okay.
with the airbag deployed, it would go through my
Thank you.
chest.
I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page there. If you have it mounted, regardless if it's magnets or a clamp, whatnot, if it's attached to the vehicle, you are legally permitted to answer by way of tapping or swiping, and you can hang up. That's permitted under law, but that's the only thing. It has to be connected to either a Bluetooth or speakerphone mode. You can't hold it, and of course, you can't interact with it beyond that.
I always wondered about those mounts. I thought, why are people buying these? It's got to be illegal. That's
Steering wheel is
really
such a bad idea.
Yeah, but what a great question. And by the
Truly.
way, Richard, if I can just pass this on, you know what I would do with your phone is toss it. You can hardly hear you on that. It's terrible. The reception is just dismal. Gosh, we're paying money for these things. All right, how much time do I have left? I have under a minute, and Rick in London, we're not even going to go to him, but Rick wants to know what the rule is about LED headlights. We've talked about this before. Want to inform people?
LED headlights, if they're factory headlights, might just be very bright, very intense, producing a different color quality, and it becomes harsh on the eyes. But it may not be illegal. The biggest problem is when they're not correctly directed, and very often you get a car from the dealership and they're directed too high and blinding people. So that's a problem, and you can be ticketed for that, and others, of course, can be as well. Aftermarket LEDs, big problem is you get varying qualities, and you really want to make sure you're getting approved lighting that is going to maintain its brightness and not flicker and all sorts of other issues. So those could run into problems.
Sean, it's short but sweet this week. It's been nice having you on. I'm so happy you could accommodate us.
It's always a pleasure, and thank you. It was my fault that we couldn't meet up earlier.
Listen,
and we made it
you're a
happen.
busy guy. It's nobody's fault. Things happen, and I'm happy that in the 2:00 hour, people got treated to what we do together, normally every second Thursday at 12:30. So hopefully they'll join us for a couple more segments and have some questions ready for you next week
Sounds like a plan.
or 2 weeks from now. All right, Sean Shapiro, the TikTok traffic cop. We're going to take a quick break, and then
And that was it. And it's always a great time, and I appreciate they were able to accommodate my schedule because the whole being here earlier couldn't happen because we were filming a podcast episode, which as I started editing while I was waiting, we had some technical difficulties, but we're going to make it work. Anyway, that's the story. That's my day. I am gone, but I'll be back tomorrow for Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So join us everywhere and bring your questions. See you until then. Until then, we'll see you.